we have an outdoor bus.
It's New Jersey.
I mean, the water was clean.
Right.
There was like a junkyard next door.
Yeah.
So it was good. There wasn't any dead animals or rusty, bits of metal in the water.
It's typical New Jersey.
We were like the characters in the movie, like a couple of us in the band that were like, water's starting to pull up outside, guys. Oh, it's cool, it happens. It's going to drain. It always drains that way. Like 10 minutes later, water's still pulling up. It's getting close to the stairs. And we were like stuck inside. No one, I'm not saying no one was doing anything, but for a while it was like, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, there's no like...
And then all of a sudden, the venue, like, it's filling up with water. Our stuff's on stage. And then I was like, all right, everybody upstairs, we're going to get electrocuted. And I was like, hell no. We're going out to our bus. I'm not going to be stuck in here.
Cold, dirty water just swimming out there.
Yeah, we started.
I felt bad for the kids.
It was starting to get scary.
Wow, yeah. They were like all stuck. There was like a little stretch of, like a little island outside where the people that were in line were like safe for the time being, but there was no way to get anywhere else.
Yeah. It started to get really scary.
Yeah, it was a little scary.
Hi everyone, we are 2/3 of Alkaline Trio. My name is Dan.
I'm Derek.
He plays the drums.
He plays the bass.
The bass guitar. And this is Project Greenroom for Aquarian Weekly.
Here it is again, yet it stings like the first time. Seems it never ends, double nickels on your dime. I thought we were friends, I guess it just depends who you ask. These feelings tend to leave me with a hole in my chest.
The tour's been great. Yeah, like I can honestly say that we're having more fun than we ever have, and I think we're playing better than we ever have too. It's crazy after 15 years, you think there'd be some sort of drop off, level off at some point, but no, things are great. People are still coming out to shows, and we're having a great time.
It's only just begun, it's been fun. We were blind, deaf, and dumb.
Yeah, it's not easy. We wanted to play. I mean, we started talking about trying to play a little bit from each album, and then some stuff from the new record, Damnesia. But there's so many records and there's so many songs. I mean, we don't really want to play for like 3 hours.
Right.
Some bands can pull it off, but it's in a different kind of show, you know what I mean? Like, we can't do that. People would be pissed. So, instead of trying to pick a little bit from each album, we ended up starting to pick like a few songs that we know we always have fun playing live, and then we started digging into like some parts of the bands. I don't know how to put it. Some parts like weird B-sides,
Right.
some tunes that we don't play too often, tunes that people seem to always want to hear that we never play, and that's kind of how we figured out this set. So it's been really fun.
Oh, so many changes. I mean, Matt started the band with two other guys, but we were all playing in bands. We were all active at that time, and the industry's changed. I mean, people don't buy records anymore. Thankfully, the vinyl thing has sort of come back into play, so people still want like some sort of physical copy, which is great, because one of the things that made me so sad when people stopped buying records is why make artwork for a record? All you need is a cover image, but like I love looking at liner notes, and we love putting together the packages with all the photos and stuff like that. So that's changed. The way that we function has changed. I've been in the band for, I guess it's been about 11 years, but 10 years, almost 11. But things have changed, like the way that we operate. With the internet becoming, so prevalent in everybody's lives, and the ability to record songs so easily, like on a laptop computer, like that's basically how we send ideas to each other. Just record versions on our computer and then email them. Whereas when I first joined, we were, still kind of all in the same area, and we were, we would actually get together and work out ideas. From the get-go, it would be like a collective effort, and now it's like, we can do it long distance, in 3 different states. So yeah, it's changed for the better, I think.
The oak tree, they've worn out
I mean, we've always been fortunate to,
Right.
like, no matter what label we were with, we were always working with good people and people that weren't trying to, like, steer the ship too much. But it's nice to just have total, like, independence, and it really falls in line with what's going on in the music industry now anyway, so it's like, you know, it just makes sense. And we've had a career, fortunately, you know, we've been around long enough where it's you know, it just seems like we've had enough experience, we kind of know a little bit about the business,
Right.
you know, so it just seemed like the right time to do something like that, to cut the ties. And working with, you know, in collaboration with Epitaph is great because they're such an amazing label and such amazing people over there, so they kind of help us with all the stuff that we, you know, the day-to-day stuff that we don't really know that much about, but or we don't have the time to handle. So it's really a good, like, collaborative effort.
Off the old tree, and they've worn out all the hope in their
I don't know if there's any, like, cool stories per se, but, like, it was interesting to try and deconstruct songs. I mean, that, you know, we spend a lot of time, you write the songs and you try and get it to a place where you think it's perfect, or as close to as possible. So then to take it apart and try and, like, reimagine it was a little bit harder than we thought it was going to be. But it proved to be, like, a really fun session. Like, when we were in the studio, it was a lot of fun relearning the songs and trying to figure out how to, like, change things around and keep it fresh and interesting and try different spins on things. So, and that's where the title came from, you know, because some songs it was a little bit more of a challenge to even remember how the song went, you know. So we kind of got this amnesia. So.
And there was one tune that I think as we were working on it for the Damnesia, we kind of realized, like, or I thought about the fact, like, we ended up changing this one chord in the song Radio, and I remember thinking, like, that's funny, like, we wrote that song Matt wrote that song so long ago. We were just kind of, I think that was the last song that was written for New York Inspire, and he wrote it in the studio. We just kind of recorded it, threw it down, and didn't think about it. You know, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of that. You know, that happens in the studio sometimes, and it's like perfect. It always feels like you did the right thing, just throwing it down. But I kept thinking while we were recording it for the Amnesia that we probably would have done it like this, like Wednesdays, knowing the way we do things and the way we kind of think more about the songs as we're writing and recording. You know, that was kind of interesting. Put a spin on things.
One chord. One slight difference makes a lot of sense.
It makes just like a huge, well, in like terms of like pop sensibility, it's like this stuff I've been listening to and dissecting over the years from like other bands and trying to figure out how other people do things. It made sense.
I used to long for broken bones. I used to long for
I think maybe a little bit.
There was a little bit of, like, I think a little bit of, like, what songs would you like to sing on it, but
More polling, right?
yeah. But it was, I don't know, the whole idea kind of came up because it was suggested to us that after 15 years maybe we should do some sort of greatest hits thing, which we weren't entirely comfortable with the concept of doing a greatest hits record. And plus it's like, what, you know, everybody's got the songs already, so what's the big deal? You just repackage it.
Or on iTunes, or a website like that, anyone has the ability to make their own version of the greatest hits.
It's all a la carte, like you can customize your own greatest hits.
It
Didn't seem.
I didn't want to do it, and it didn't make sense anyway. So,
But then the idea of doing an acoustic record, you know, with like new material seemed a little far out there. So it was like, well, why don't we reinterpret the greatest hits? So that's kind of where we started with song selection. I was like, what are the songs that people want to hear time after time? And then it was a matter of picking songs that we thought could be reinterpreted, and just playing around with ideas. I mean, we really didn't discuss what songs we were going to do until we got in the studio. And then we got there and sat around with some acoustic guitars and just sort of played through a couple numbers until we figured out what sounded good, and then we go and record it and then be like, all right, what else?
right.
You know, what's the next song? So we just kind of did it like bit by bit until we had an album.
so to love
mean, we all dug the Violent Femmes, and I mean, we still do quite a bit. And they're a pretty big influence on like early Alkaline Trio stuff and all of our childhoods probably. And Matt and I used to play that song, you know, just kind of in our apartment, like back in the day, as it were, you know, like sit around and play a bunch of songs, but that always came up and we would play it. I think we actually played it live once. Shortly after I joined the band, we had a show booked and our drummer couldn't make it, so Matt and I went and played acoustic, and that was one of the tunes that we did. Just a great song. And then, you know, in light of the whole theme of the record, instead of like just trying to think of some new song to cover that we never covered, let's do this one we did, you know, 12 or 13 years ago.
Best put a scene in my chest, not a clue how you got through the.
It was good. It was a really good show for us. You know, sometimes when you're just put in that situation where, you know, that tour, they're all familiar with their gear and where it's going and all that stuff, and when you're just jumping on a show like that, it can be a little hectic and it doesn't always feel comfortable.
Right.
But it was a really good time. I think because we knew the guys in those bands and their crews, you know, they're like old friends, so that helped a lot. And then it's always fun to play different kinds of shows. And it sounded really good. Everyone was really nice. It was great.
Right on the water.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's giant geese over there.
It did rain for your set,
No, it didn't rain for us. It didn't rain for my camp either.
and then blink.
Unfortunately, it worked out. It was quite a bit of a storm, but I was more worried about those geese.
These skis.
Terrifying.
Huge. It's Jones Beach, so it's different out there.
Well,
No, they don't have alcohol out there, so it's
To me, when I left you there early that morning.
yeah, we're gonna go do that. I mean, I think we're all starting to think a little bit about new record, new songs, but I don't think anyone's talking about it in terms of like a timeline or what we're gonna do, where we're gonna do it. But I think we're all starting to get back into the mode of let's start thinking about some new tunes. We're always kind of writing as individuals or as a band or whatever. So
Yeah, we just wrote a song.
and it sounds like 3 or 4 days ago.
So the process is usually that's sort of like how things start.
right.
You know, like somebody will write a song and we'll work on it at a sound check or a rehearsal or something, and then it's sort of like the floodgates kind of open.
Yeah.
You know, we start writing. But we all have separate things going on too.
Right.
So I think this year, we've got these shows obviously, and then the shows overseas, but it leaves a lot of time for everybody to sort of finish up their, or spend some time working on their like side projects or solo projects.
Family.
And family, yeah, definitely. Like enjoy some time off because we tour a lot. And I always have. So it's nice to enjoy a little bit of time at home and work on some other creative outlets.
And another 15 years of Alkaline Trio, hopefully.
Yeah, we need wheelchairs and Jagger hands on stage.
It's alright.
Yeah, we'll probably be as decrepit as the Rolling Stones today, just up there pathetically massacring our catalog.
2 shows
I
a week.
don't actually know anything about the Rolling Stones now. I don't know if they're good or not, so that's not fair to me. So they're massacring their catalog. I bet it's still, it's pretty good. But no disrespect, Rolling Stones, because I know you're gonna watch this. But
We're all big fans, but goddamn, we're getting up there.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
You guys have been doing like 2 shows a week, a lot of off days.
a lot of off days, a lot of recovery days
Golf.
for those, the broken, bruised hips.
Oh yeah.
Won't be that bad.
I mean, I hope I had to be a member at certain golf clubs. So it'll be easier. Yeah, off days for leisure activities and blood transfusions.
You're not that old.
But that's what we have to look forward to.
It only gets
Leisure
better.
activities,
It's 2011, dude. We're all going to be doing that shit for kicks in like 4
That's
years.
true.